Welcome back to the main stage and the Motorfest Walk of Fame. It's the place to be if you really want to become a Motorfest legend. Each month is a chance for your name to be marked onto the stars. Here's the Motorfest legend of last month. This month, a new legend rises to the challenge.
Here it is, Motorfest's most splendid surprise to date. Since they couldn't possibly take you to Ferrari's supercar exhibition, they brought the exhibition to you. But we're not stopping there. We are going to ride those magnificent creatures. As Motorfest's archivist, it is my great privilege to accompany you on what promises to be a memorable experience. You will not only be driving Ferrari's greatest cars, you will also be reliving the joy, excitement, and unique thrill that their best drivers feel on the track every single day. And you also get to marvel at their latest creation. In any case, this is a special occasion, a true celebration of Ferrari.
A playlist is available, driver. Today is a red letter day. You're signing up for one of our most exclusive experiences to date. partnership with the quintessential sports car manufacturer, Ferrari, the prancing horse. An alliance that will for sure go down in Motorfest history. To be your guide on this pilgrimage through excellence, we've invited our resident scholar and authority on luxury cars, the Motorfest archivist. Sir, you're up.
Thank you, dear. Hello, driver. Pleased to meet you. As your lovely onboard assistance device just mentioned, I'll be your chaperone for this playlist. Although chaperone perhaps isn't the right word. More like a host, I believe. Well, this is not my usual job, but it is Ferrari we're talking about, so, well, how could I refuse? So many things I'd like to say. So many things I dug out from my archives. But first things first, let's get you to Maui's brand new Ferrari museum. drive to the main building, I believe the director of the Ferrari Museums has a few words to say.
My name is Michele Pignatti Morano. I am the director of the Ferrari Museums. Here we are where there is the birthhouse of Enzo Ferrari. Each Ferrari is different. Each Ferrari was the best in the world in design, performance, technology, putting all the best in one single car. Ferrari is a legend. It's just exceptionally full of excellence.
This is Ferrari Supercars, a partnership with the Enzo Ferrari Museum of Modena. To the next objective.
There's a particular kind of Ferrari we're going to speak a lot about today. The Ferrari Supercars. The car you're about to drive in this opening event is none other than the first Ferrari in the supercar bloodline, the Ferrari GTO.
The first supercars that we can define is the GTO. GTO was very simple. If we just start from the name, it was Gran Turismo Omologato. The definition of supercars is very simple. It's the top expression of that period in design, performance, technology, putting all the best in one single car of that period. People call it the 288 GTO, but that is not the correct definition. The definition for that car is the GTO. Punto.
Ferrari, supercar is a term that refers to milestones in motoring history. All supercars are limited series and the product of Enzo Ferrari's philosophy, aiming to make every new model the best car of its time. That means that every new addition to the lineage is the embodiment of leading-edge research that sets the standard for cars worldwide. You'll drive all the Ferrari supercars on this adventure, but for now, just enjoy the collector's piece that is the Gran Turismo Omologato, or like Mr. Pignati Morano said, simply GTO. This car is, in essence, a special version of another iconic Ferrari, the 308 GTS. And, as intended, it is one of the fastest street-legal production cars of its time. Interesting fact from my archives. Three-time racing world champion Niki Lauda owned one of the few GTOs produced. A gift from Enzo Ferrari himself. Beautiful sight. It takes me back to the Legacy Tour Ferrari organized back in 2024. A GTO tribute tour set in the stunning surroundings of the Italian Dolomites. Organized exactly 40 years after Ferrari introduced the supercar at the 1984 Geneva Motor Show. But enough from me. Just listen to the car you're driving. She'll tell you her story herself. Welcome to the world of Ferrari, my young friend. A world where legends live among us to tell their stories loud and clear. was delighted with that introduction. You may now head towards the northern part of the bay to make the acquaintance of the next two supercars in our Ferrari lineup. You heard me right. The next event will feature not one, but two cars for you to drive. On one hand, the inspired and inspiring Ferrari F40. And on the other hand, nothing less than a road-legal Formula One, the Ferrari F50. Mr. Pignati Morano will start with a few words, then I'll take over.
The Ferrari F50. A bridge between road and racetrack.
The F50 is a car that is made to celebrate the 50 years of the company. It's a car which is basically very much taking the technology of Formula One to the road. It's basically a Formula One with covered wheels. You look at the shape, you look at the front, you can really see the shape of the musetto of a Formula One, and the emotion of driving it is just incredible.
Let me tell you more about the Ferrari F50. Often thought of together, the F40 and F50 are yet very different cars, each one fascinating in its own individual way. It's true they bear some similar design elements and, of course, a naming convention. F for Ferrari and 50 for the prancing horse's 50th birthday, just like the F40 a decade earlier. But the similarities stop right there, because these two siblings are defiantly individual. The F50 is a mechanical symphonia. No turbocharged V8 here. The F50's core is a normally aspirated V12 that came straight from a Formula One. Then there's the bodywork. Composite materials, like the monocoque carbon fiber chassis shaped to aerodynamic perfection. Again, all coming from the racing world. An extreme machine. Bold, innovative, intimidating. And that sound. It was impressive back then, and it still is today. And the car's voice sounds even better from inside. I could ramble on about this car forever, but I'll let it speak for itself now. This was the F-50, a sports car that screams performance and racing spirit with every fiber of its being. I believe that you're now expected at the Hanauma racetrack. But first, let's get there with panache. Another special car is waiting for you. Two of the 20th century's most popular Ferraris. But when it comes to beloved machines from the 80s and 90s, there's another red horse that undoubtedly comes to mind. The unmistakable pop culture icon, the Ferrari Testarossa.
When you ask people which is one of the most iconic cars that people remember, I think the Testarossa is definitely among these cars here. The technology that is inside, easily distinguishable from the side which has the fins. It is one of those cars that everybody remembers. Testa rossa is very simple. Translated from Italian is testa, head, rossa, red. So the red head.
The Ferrari Testarossa was quite the celebrity in her time. Movies, TV shows, magazines, and even video games, the Testarossa was everywhere, appealing to kids and adults alike. With its angular design, minimalistic lines, and signature side air intakes, this car was a poster child for aerodynamics. The exact model Motorfest has put in your hands is the 1991 re-engineered version of the Testarossa, introduced as the 512 TR, featuring a redesigned interior and a refined exterior to improve its already spectacular lines. Looks like you're getting the perfect stretches of road between Maui and Oahu to take the whole measure of it. Was quite a breath of fresh air and nostalgia. time for you to get a real taste of Ferrari's racing DNA. The drive that gave birth to the supercar bloodline. And for this racing-themed experience, I went again through my archives to select not just one, but two vehicles for you to drive, one after the other. Two machines from two different eras, for two different racing experiences.
Scuderia Ferrari in our history is extremely important. Scuderia Ferrari was created in 1929, not far away from here. Enzo Ferrari himself was a driver. He started as a driver. So he created, and to stimulate the drivers, he was giving them and putting them in the best condition with the best car possible. Scuderia Ferrari was so successful. Enzo Ferrari has conquered the world from Maranello. This is an achievement which is unique and really makes the brand unique.
Is what started it all. To understand what fuels the creation of every Ferrari ever made, especially the supercars, the racetrack is an indispensable stop. Racing cars were Enzo Ferrari's passion and obsession. This is what led him to found a Scuderia in 1929, which has played a major role in racing history. And born from this racing division, Ferrari as a brand and factory of excellence was created a few years later. Racing is what led Ferrari to create cars, and eventually supercars. Without his racing spirit and passion, there would be no Ferraris as we know them. The Ferrari 365 GTB4 is the perfect vehicle for you to experience Ferrari racing as it felt back in the 70s, before switching for a car about 45 years its junior. For this second lap, you'll be driving the FXXK. This car is quite peculiar. Essentially a laboratory-enhanced version of La Ferrari, a supercar you'll get to meet later on. It didn't compete, per se, but this insanely powerful car was used for years as an R&D test car, allowing Ferrari to collect precious data to ultimately improve their next official racing cars, as well as the supercars. A Ferrari so extreme that it can never be driven on the road, nor qualify for any kind of official competition. But it's still a racing machine through and through. More than a car, the FXXK is an experiment for its makers and an experience for its drivers. This was a peek at Ferrari's glorious racetrack heritage, a heritage in which supercars are inextricably tied up. Marvelous race driver. A moment I'll be thrilled to relate and store in my archives. Let's get our focus back to our supercar lineup. With the GTO, the F40, and the F50, we've covered all the Ferrari supercars born in the 20th century. We'll now get to talk about and drive the more recent 21st century supercars. Well, I'll talk, you'll drive. Let's get back to Maui. The next entry in our lineup and first supercar of the 2000s is a direct tribute to the Commendatore Enzo Ferrari. You guessed it. We're letting you get your hands on the 2002 Ferrari Enzo. Starting with a few words from our guest, Michele Pignati Marano.
What was the next name? The name was Enzo. Enzo Ferrari, I mean, it's the top of the names. You couldn't do anything better than that. If we look at it today, and you think it was presented in 2002, it is still a car which is modern, and it has more than 20 years, but it's still unique. It's still, everybody wants this car. There is no main evolution. It is all evolution. It's technological, it's design, it's the horsepowers we put in, everything, and that's what makes Ferrari super. Fourth in the supercar bloodline, was just like her sisters before her, born from a strong desire to push supercars even further. As the first Ferrari of the century, and with a Scuderia on top of the racing world, the Enzo was meant to strike hard and set new standards for Ferrari cars, or rather, for the whole sports car industry. With the will to design, once more, nothing less than a road-legal Formula One, faster on the track but more civilized on the road, Ferrari went all out. And my word, did they deliver. The uncompromising design by Pininfarina, featuring noticeable air intakes and an F1-inspired nose,
gives this car her aggressive, decisive, and impressive looks, while the engine is nothing short of engineering mastery, as you'd expect. Add to that better handling, better carbon brakes, and electronics that make the car as reliable on an everyday drive as it is savage on the racetrack. The latest 21st century tech alongside the legendary Ferrari Fury. Nothing short of a new performance benchmark. Her name alone shows how confident Ferrari was about this car. Owning one of the 399 plus one Ferrari Enzos in existence is like owning a piece of car history. Or, dare I say, like owning a piece of art. Racing heritage, luxury, and exclusivity. This is Enzo Ferrari's legacy. After the beautiful tribute that was the Ferrari Enzo, the world had to wait more than 10 years to encounter a new Ferrari supercar. But eventually, the next generation arrived, and once again, caught everybody off guard. I'm talking about a car named La Ferrari, the Ferrari in English, which is currently waiting for you north of Maui. I'll let you drive there. Then we'll talk some more.
LaFerrari is the first Ferrari we have with an hybrid engine. If you come to our museum and you have the possibility of comparing and seeing the LaFerrari engine next to LaFerrari car, you won't believe that that engine is in that car. In that period, we were taking a lot of technology also from Formula One, and that's what the Ferrari is. LaFerrari is the first car, the first hybrid car, because we were taking the Formula One experience and transforming it and taking it to the road.
It's 2013, and a new supercar emerges from the Maranello factory. In an era of astonishingly intense competition, Ferrari still treated their rivals to a true tour de force, a car that reshuffled the cards yet again. The strongest naturally aspirated Ferrari V12 to date, marking Ferrari's first steps into hybrid technology. For the first time in the company's history, petrol and electric working together full-time to deliver unprecedented levels of performance. And on top of all that, LaFerrari sports an F1 kinetic energy recovery system that constantly recaptures waste energy, stores it, and converts it into bursts of power when needed. Ferrari, some lucky people got to witness technology peak improvements at both ends of the spectrum. Higher performance, lower consumption. Glorious achievement. Civilized, but also the fastest and most exhilarating road car ever made by the prancing horse, LaFerrari. This was La Ferrari, the fifth and ultimate Ferrari supercar. Or is she? See, not so long ago, we would have called it a day on this playlist, right about here. After all, La Ferrari was the last supercar ever made, the final word in Ferrari supercars. But that's not true anymore. In 2024, Ferrari shook the automotive world once again by revealing the sixth supercar to bear the prancing horse. The news of Ferrari unveiling a new supercar was already more than enough to get any car enthusiast in the world on their feet. But the reveal of her name is what made everyone lose their mind. The Ferrari F80. An exciting time to be alive, isn't it? You should head back to the Ferrari Museum. Believe me when I tell you that something brilliant is about to be set in motion.
What makes Ferrari so unique? It is mainly the people. The people make the difference. And as Enzo Ferrari used to say, factories are made of wall, machinery, and people. Ferrari is made of people mainly. The people and the sense of belonging to Ferrari is something I think that is difficult to find in other companies, in other places. Our brand is the only brand that has such a strong passion. Thanks to the passion that is in the brand, the technology, the effort that the people put behind this brand and behind building a new car, the next one is the best.
Ferrari is a legendary sports car brand, born from the passion of a man. A passion for driving and racing, a passion for speed and competition, with the will to build cars, each one better than the last. Throughout the decades, this racing DNA never faded away. It informs every single decision made by the prancing horse. It fuels the relentless drive to explore car technology, to push it beyond and make it evolve, to design the most incredible cars in the world. Jewels of the road, champions of the racetrack. Ferrari. It is cars that have become pop culture icons. Cars that share a special bond with millions of people. Whether you own a Ferrari or not, the name Ferrari rings like no other. It impacts and fascinates children and grown-ups alike. It is part of a collective consciousness. Ferrari cars are a vector for dreams. They're modern legends, both real and mythical in a way. They're an idea of what a sports car is, in both fiction and reality. Is, and this is putting it mildly, the epitome of luxury cars. With design that combines rage and glamour, each Ferrari is a piece of art. And from the higher end of the splendor spectrum, each drive is a statement. Essence of the racing spirit, pop culture phenomenal, state-of-the-art ambassador. The combination of all these attributes made Ferrari a car brand that reached millions of people and brought them together. People that have, over the decades, formed a community like no other. Devout, passionate, dedicated. Because once again, no need to own a Ferrari to be part of the Ferrari world. Through almost 80 years, Ferrari has shaped car history. And as I speak, it is shaping its future. A new chapter of the Ferrari supercars story is being written. Its title? F80.
It's a challenge to keep the legacy of the Ferrari brand alive. Thanks to the passion that is in the brand, the technology, the effort that the people put behind this brand and behind building a new car, the next one is the best. I hope you enjoyed driving our cars. They are unique, but why not come to our museum and see the real thing? Come and live the dream and come to the Ferrari museums. Arrivederci.
This was our exclusive Ferrari experience. Now, time to get your reward.